What's up, Fuel Up fam? I just wanted to come on really quickly before this video actually starts and let you know that this is one of the workouts that I did several months ago. So I'm just dragging it back out of the archive because I feel like it's something that we're all kind of looking for right now. I know a lot of the times I do a lot of upper body and back exercises, and so I'm going to start focusing a little bit more on legs. So I hope you enjoy this workout. Let's get into it. First exercise is we have a cable toe elevated deadlift. So I'm taking my shoulders, keeping those really high. My back is very, very flat. My eyes follow as I tip forward, and the plate that I have on the ground is right underneath my toes. My heels are still on the ground, and what you're gonna do is squeeze through the heels, up through the calves, up through the back of the hamstrings, and through the glutes. Now, here's what I want you to keep in mind. This may sound a little strange, but I want you to consider to think about having a beach ball. You know, beach balls, they're pretty easy to pop, but I want you to pretend like you have one of those between your booty cheeks. And when you squeeze through those heels and drive all the way back up to the top in that standing position, you want to pretend like you're going to squeeze your booty so tight they're going to pop that beach ball. That is the force that I want you to squeeze with. Second exercise, y'all, this is one of my favorites. I just love this one. So you want to make sure that you have a Smith machine to do this exercise. I do not recommend you to do it with a free bar. Make sure you have a Smith machine or find yourself one. Here's how we set this up. You take your toes out closer towards the edge of the base of the Smith machine. You're stepping forward. You see how I'm kind of like at an angle when I stand at the full standing position? Your toes are slightly pointed outward just a little bit, and you're digging through your heels to squeeze your glutes together. You can tell my glutes are engaged at the top standing position. So you want to go a little lighter on weight with this one and just focus on repetition. Also, one more thing to note is do not dig into your toes and lift your heels up. You want to make sure you're planted like a tree, keep your heels dug into the floor, and your toes are going to be slightly lifted off to the ground, and I mean slightly. And of course, we're going to throw a little cardio in the middle of this workout, so you don't have to do it before or after. You just get a little bit of quick cardio burst in between. So we're gonna do some kettlebell swings. Now, I don't have any kettlebells at our gym, but I do use a plate from the Smith machine, just one of the free plates. You could also use a dumbbell, but your stance is about a heel to toe out from your shoulders. You're digging in through your heels, and you're using your legs and your glutes to press through the inside of your thighs as you push towards the top, and that is what is pulling the plate up. So you're not flinging your arms up and back, You're using your legs to drive through the heels to bring that plate up towards the parallel position to the floor. Barbell hip thrusts, one of my favorites. You do not have to use a Smith machine with this one. You can use a dumbbell, you can use a free bar, totally up to you. First, I want you to notice my feet placement. Notice my toes are slightly lifted and my heels are dug into the ground. And notice that my hips come down, but my chest and my shoulders have not come down. So there's many different ways to do hip thrusts, but this is just a certain kind that I'm doing for this workout. And I know I'm gonna get asked about the weight. Now, weight is a personal preference, and it's something that you have to work your way up to. So don't overdo it on this one. Start light, get your form correct first. Of course, you can message me or send me an email and ask me some more questions. I'll be happy to go a little farther into detail and share with you how I've kind of worked my way up to get to a certain weight, but don't worry about that. Form first, friends, form first. Smith machine glute presses. Now, this is kind of like a backwards leg press, if you will. I do have a little bit of a tendency to rack the weight with my feet accidentally when doing this move, so Trent's there just to hold it from racking onto the Smith machine. However, let's talk about form here. First, let's talk about the bench that I'm actually on. So I have the bench in an inclined position facing away from the Smith machine. I'm just laying over the back side of it. So I've got my head down, I'm holding on to the bottom just to keep my upper body and my torso still and engaged. And then I've got my heels pressing through the barbell to the top. And I'm squeezing my glutes, squeezing my butt cheeks as I press to the top. So I'm gonna dig into the bar and press all the way up, pulse, and then ease down. Squeeze, press, pulse, and then ease down. So every single rep, when I get to the top, that's where I'm gonna hold and squeeze for a quick second before I ease back down. Last thing I want to talk about when it comes to this position is I want to freeze the frame for a second and talk about my leg placement and my knees being bent. So you want to make sure, this is going to be different for every single person because we're all different heights and sizes. I'm really short, I'm only 5'4", so it's a little bit closer for me to be towards the barbell, but you want to kind of check yourself before you start repping. Like, have somebody there, somebody to spot you, and make sure that you have your leg placement in the perfect spot. So when you do begin to press, you can press up to that 90-degree angle from the floor where your knees will be at a 90-degree angle instead of completely bent up like they are right now. So that's something important to think about. So kind of play around with it because this is not one of those normal exercises that you're used to doing. So have somebody there to spot you, kind of go through it a couple of times before you have them really watch you and prepare with you as you rep. I hope that makes sense. Moving right along into our next exercise of heavy dumbbell wide squats. So my feet are at a wide stance position, so my toes are slightly pointed out. I know you can't see that, but they're slightly pointed outward. I've got a dumbbell right in front of me. My shoulders, I like to take them up, push them back, and sit them down so that my chest is up tall, my back is flat, and that way when I squat, my back stays flat the entire time. Fairly self-explanatory here. You just want to make sure that you're not bowing over, like fully rounding your back as you completely bend over. You just want to squat down, dig through your heels, and squeeze up through the heels and to the booty. That's pretty much the whole process of this entire workout. And if you're not really sure where your position needs to be or what it's supposed to feel like, put a chair behind you or a bench behind you and sit down and really focus on the entire movement of the process of sitting down. That's going to help your squat position so much. Okay, y'all, stay with me here. This one is another one of those moves that you're not used to doing and you're going, oh my word, why is she bending over that direction with the Smith machine? She's gonna hurt herself. No, friends, I want you to know that this is one of my absolute favorite exercise moves to work my glutes. I know it seems awkward, it seems backwards, and you think that people are gonna be staring at you throughout the gym, but guess what? Everybody's staring all over the place these days, so don't worry about anybody in the gym. Just focus on your exercise. So let's talk about form here. We're gonna start by talking about the feet placement. Now you can tell my feet are out wide, farther than my shoulders. So I took my feet about 1 to 2 heel to toe wider than my shoulders. And then my toes are slightly pointed out just a little bit. And you notice that I'm standing behind the bar. I'm not directly under the bar. I'm not in front of the bar. I'm right behind the bar, straight up, parallel to the actual wall. So what you're gonna start from here is, stand in front of the bar and then make sure your feet are wide enough first of all. And then I want you to make sure that you're not like completely up against the bar, but you wanna put your hand, like your actual palm at the center of your chest and your fingers pointed directly out, and your fingertips should touch the front of the bar. So that's about the distance you need to be away from the front of the bar. But again, play with it, see what your stance is, and if it doesn't feel right, then step a little farther back, whatever works. Now that we've got our feet placement, we're gonna bend down, bend your knees, bend under the bar, and then put the bar right at the back of your shoulder blades, right where your lats are. You're gonna unrack the bar, and then you're gonna bend your knees to slightly bend forward and then dig your heels to drive back to the top. So you're using your back very, very, very slightly, but mostly digging through the heels and then squeezing those booty cheeks together. So you wanna make sure that your chest is parallel to the floor as you bend over, and then as you stand back up, you're gonna be at a slight angle, right there. Our last exercise of this workout, we're gonna do some elevated body weight lunges. So I've got one foot elevated in the back. The front foot is slightly toe lifted, just a little bit. And you want to be sure here that you're coming down at a 90-degree angle. So you've got a full range of motion. You'll notice here in just a second that I will notice that my position's not really great, so I moved over just a little bit to make sure that I've got that full range of motion and that my front knee is not gonna exceed my toes. So you don't want your knee to go over your toes. You wanna make sure that you come fully straight down and not leaning forward. Another thing that you might notice is I have my hands on the Smith machine. I'm not pulling up on that arm. That arm is there just for support. I just have my hand on the Smith machine. I'm not grasping it. So work hard. Don't ever, ever, ever let yourself slip into the whole thought of, I'm just gonna cheat my way out of this exercise and use my arms when I'm supposed to be doing a leg workout. So make sure you're not pulling up from your arms and using your shoulders and your back. If you wanna hold on to something just for some extra balance, totally cool, because as you can see, I do that as well, but you don't wanna pull, because that's defeating the point of the exercise. So I'm rooting you guys on. I hope y'all are doing really well in your workouts. Let me know how you like this one, and we're gonna wrap this one up. Hey, Fuel Up fam, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you think. Fuel up.